Hey guys, it's Drew from UVA Productions, and today I'll be showing you how to get fully on top of the Nuketown Sky Barrier in Black Ops 1. Alright, so I'm not gonna lie, this glitch is actually quite difficult to pull off, and it's gonna require that you have 3 people at least in your lobby. That's if you want to get everybody on top of the Sky Barrier. I mean, you could do it with 2, but then only the person that has God mode is gonna be able to do it, so it's not gonna be as good. Alright, so to do this glitch, you're going to want to start off by getting as many care packages as you possibly can. I would recommend getting between 50 and 100 kills between the 2 of you. Now if you're going to be doing this with 3 people, the person who's going to get God mode cannot be the host. And then I would recommend that the person who's going to get God mode is just going to get like maybe 5 or 10 kills in the beginning. And then as the other 2 people are boosting, the person that's going to get God mode can just do so while they're doing that, so that you don't have to wait until after they're done boosting and whatnot. But once everyone is done doing everything they have to do, you're going to want to come over to this part of the map. Now if you've seen our previous videos, you'll know that this is the spot that you breach into if you want to do the Nuketown elevator. Okay, so one important thing I should note is that the first person that you breach into the elevating spot should be the person that has God mode. Now this will be significantly more difficult to do than like someone who doesn't have God mode, because when you have God mode you can't knife lunge, and you don't have like a knife or anything, so as soon as you get stuck in a care package, it's pretty much a rip. You basically just have to solo breach into it and get lucky. I mean, we were able to do it like 2 or 3 times, so it is possible, it's just much harder to do. And you'll see here on my screen that it looks like I'm in the map. Like at first when I got knocked into it, I was in it, but then it's kind of like pushing me back into the map. I was actually having Jason, Nick sort of like guide me as to where I actually was, and they were telling me like which direction to move, and basically I just kept elevating. I kept hitting X to go a little bit higher each time, and then eventually I was able to see like my actual positioning, and then once you're at the highest point you can go and you can see where you're going, you're going to want to head towards where I'm going. And you're going to want to move very slowly, and eventually you should pop out of the barrier that you're in, and you'll land on top of another barrier actually. And that barrier actually has a death barrier on it, so that's why the person who has God mode needs to go first so that they disable it. But once you have the person who has God mode sitting up on top of that barrier, you're going to want to have the second person breach outside the map and do the exact same thing as the first person, and this one should be a lot easier to do because they can actually knife. Now, when the second person gets out and you're sure that they're definitely in the elevating spot, you don't want them to start elevating because you're actually going to use the second person to like allow the third person to knife outside the map. Now, if you're the second person sitting in the barrier, like trying to help the third person knife outside the map, then you just have to make sure that you don't crouch, because as soon as you crouch, you won't be able to jump. And then when you can't jump, you can't elevate. So just make sure you don't touch your controller at all, and unless they're like breaching, and then you can help them out. But yeah, so once you get the next 2 people outside the map into the elevating spot, you're basically just going to want to repeat exactly what the first person did that had God mode. You're going to want to elevate until you can't elevate anymore, and then you're going to want to head towards the out of map where I'm showing. And if you go slow enough, you should pop up on top of that barrier. Now there is a chance, I should warn you, that you don't get popped up on top of the barrier. Sometimes you get popped up like on the side, and then you'll fall outside the map and die. So if that happens to you, unfortunately you will have to get outside the map again, but it doesn't seem to happen that often, so it should be alright. Alright, so once all 3 people are on that barrier way outside the map, you're going to want someone, obviously the person that has God mode can't lay down, so you're going to want someone that doesn't have God mode to lay down against the wall of the barrier that you came from, which is also the sky barrier. And you're just going to want to run at the back of them until you hit their legs, and then just jump at the last second. And with the extra speed from the private match settings, you should get launched up on top of the sky barrier. Now once you have a non-God mode person up on top of the sky barrier, they can just simply put their tack down and then jump back down onto the barrier and help their friend up, and then all you need to do is kill yourself and you'll spawn up back on the sky barrier. Now from here you're free to explore the entire sky barrier, just make sure that the person who has God mode doesn't fall off the sky barrier, and you can actually get underneath the map too, but it's going to require that the person who has God mode like drop down underneath the map. So make sure that you drop down first, like you get everyone else down first, and then have them drop off, and you should all be able to explore under there as well. Anyways, this has been Drew from UVA Productions, and I'll see you guys next time.
She burns the bridges in my head by lighting up a fire. Bury my old thoughts instead so you could feel the same. I lay alone with you inside my mind. We would dance the night